when this particular video came on my FYP,
guess what? They threw all the damages on me. $1,100.
How come one scratch can become $1,000?
So what happened? Did the manager, the case manager, didn't do his weekly updates on the cases?
I see.
Did the guy leave the job and then therefore my case was left on the table and not attended to?
We tried to meet up to explain because it's also difficult to type all of this over social media just to explain the case. But unfortunately, we did not manage to make contact.
So for me, the other gripe is actually in terms of the extent of the repair required for the car, which I felt is a bit excessive.
I see.
The costs may differ here and there, but we try to manage all these differences by having a quotation from Getgo. So we liaise with all the workshops and we get the preferred rates. So we don't just say it's a scratch, 1,000 plus. So I think we try to break it down.
My uncle owns a workshop. He gives me a special rate. Why not? Typically, how much would the repair like this cost?
Oh, you went to your own contact.
What were you quoted?
150.
I see. For today, I actually suggested for this particular podcast to be done.
Yes.
Because I am heavy Getgo user.
You are?
Yeah, I am. Because my cabriolet is always in and out of the workshop.
But he cannot see one scratch, bro.
Yeah, I cannot. Yeah,
one scratch, then he'll send in.
It's not a shitty car, it's just that I'm very OCD about certain shit. So sometimes I've had many bad experiences with car rental companies.
Right.
Notably, a car rental company that Raman himself have asked me to take.
Oh.
My $1,500 deposit got wiped off just because small scratch. It's a shitty experience. I understand where it's coming from. So when this particular video came on my FYP and the damages amounted to about what I lost in the deposit, it just riled me up. I'm like, dude, this is not right. I'd like to welcome first Mr. Liang Siah, he's a financial advisor. Thank you for making some time and speaking with us. And of course, the Getgo man himself, Getgo Chief Community, Deyao, is with us. Thank you for coming. Just as a disclaimer, this case, they have already resolved, but we're here to talk about the processes. Walk us through, at that point in time, what was your mental state of mind like? Were you really frustrated? How many emails have you sent and all that? Maybe give us a sense of things.
Because typically you get a response, say, within a week. So after I sent it all started as a misunderstanding. I didn't know that the damages were already there. So when I submitted the damage report, then everything falls onto me. So that was a bit of a shock to me. It's also my fault because I didn't read the terms and conditions of the hirer's contract.
But what was in the fine print that you found quite
disturbing? Actually, and this is my message to all users of car sharing platforms. We are liable for all damages. Okay. Mr. Deyao, is that true? Or how is it? How does this work?
I think just to give some context.
Okay.
So I think just for the record, I think we apologize to Mr. Liang Siah for the negative experience. That's definitely not something that we intended to do. But just to rewind a bit, I think when our team, so I think I'm chief community, so I take care of all user issues, including accidents, damages, appeals, whichever. So I think this case was first brought up as hit and run, and then it went down the hit and run funnel. Right? We have so many types of cases, and as it went down the hit and run funnel, then it just progressed. Accordingly, we assessed damage and we quoted so on and so forth.
When you say classify as a hit and run, the car was already returned. So how do you classify as a hit and run? Like if it's returned, then it has scratches right after the user have returned. We're still liable for it, or was it returned in the situation where it was scratched? Because I know when we return it, we have to take a photo.
So the case when it came to us, obviously it was after the booking. So we have the photos and we have I think the case was also reported directly to us through our live chat. So we have the photo evidence of the damage now.
Right.
So in this case, I think I just want to clarify that in terms of hit and run, where there's no third party involved, I think it's just like, imagine if it's your own car and you just can't find someone, you come back to the car and something is damaged, it has to be fixed now. So in that case, the hirer will have to be responsible in that sense.
I see.
But if there's a third party, for example, and it is clearly established that it's not the hirer's fault, then the hirer will not need to pay anything. And which is why I think we have done, over the past 2 years, we've progressively upgraded all our fleet to have in-car camera.
Right.
To assist our users in drive. These cameras are not working during parking. I mean, we just don't want to drain the batteries because sometimes some of these cars don't get driven for days. So we protect the drivers as best as we can and during in-drive. There was requests by Mr. Liang Siah for video footage and unfortunately we couldn't provide as well because it wasn't recording while it's parking.
So how do you monitor and make sure? Because if while you were using the car, and it only became obvious to you halfway through,
Yes.
under the light.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that it wasn't somebody else who had done it previously? It could have been someone previously. Why if the fella never upload a photo? Like you say, right? Sometimes you just upload one photo. Why if you purposely the angle, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm talking from user experience because the photo, it doesn't necessarily have to be very close. It can be far. So sometimes, you get me, like there's no like
things you
a
can miss
certain
lah.
KPI, like this is how you should take it. This is how you should frame it. So sometimes, because it's too convenient, I just like step from far, bam, I just upload. So sometimes we don't know the extent of damage.
So I mean, like moving forward, right, to prevent future issues.
Yes.
How do you think you can fine tune the policy to make sure people don't abuse it?
Yeah, so I think two parts to your question. So for in-booking kind of issues, I think for such hit and run cases reported in future, we have already built in a step to just check back on previous photo, which is why I think the user photo is super important to us. I mean, these are important. In fact, it's one of the earlier photos by Mr. Liang Siah also contributed to us establishing that, hey, it's this thing on. So this whole establishment of the case is wrong, right? So that's how we reverse the entire process within the same day. Then for those that happen after booking, right? Just now to your earlier question, what happens if I return the car and then after that the company calls me, hey, it's damaged, right? So I think again, your entry photo is super important.
Okay.
Right? You take a photo and it's very clear that it's intact. Then I think you're protected. Sometimes it can be quite apparent, but at the booking they say it's hit by someone, but just nice the angle is not taken.
More user experience questions.
Right.
Like there's these 4 parts where you have to submit the photo. One is the front part. So we take front, yes. Back, I know. But sometimes the car is parked in a way that in multi-story car park, it's hard to take at the back. So we have to take like side and we submit it as the back.
Yeah.
And then there's the driver side and passenger side. For driver side, I normally take the driver seat area, but I don't take the other side. And then the passenger, there's 3 different passenger sides. Do I have to take all 3 or just the one behind the driver is enough?
We recommend to take at least 3 lah, all sides. That's why we created 4 boxes. So we iterated over the years, right? It used to be very simple, one photo. And then we decided, okay, I think we better create more slots for users to take photos.
So for Mr. Liang Siah, right, like you can imagine some people who, let's say, want to defend Getgo, right? They might say like, it's your own fault because you never checked properly or you weren't. If let's say, because ultimately you did actually find a pre-existing photo, but if let's say you didn't, right? Other people have gone through that kind of experience before. Then I can imagine somebody will come in and say like, but it's your own fault. What? You never checked properly before you use. So in a sense, even though you didn't cause the damage, but just too bad law, you just have to pay. Then how?
That's what my friend was actually telling me. Say,
Oh really?
don't report lah. See who sway, who kena. You report,
Right.
Oh really?
Right. So this system is a bit scaled.
Yeah, I see.
And unfortunately, I mean, or rather fortunately for you, you did have that photo. That's why you were able to finally get it sorted out.
Actually, our system also had a photo. Which is why I think I just want to come clean. This was really managed down the wrong funnel, and we didn't manage to track this. So actually, if we track this, we would have found the photo.
And that's
quite
actually
early on.
tied to my hard question for you because now it's gonna. I mean, you can totally imagine people will look at this story and then they'll think to themselves like, yeah, the only reason that it got sorted out in the end, because it has been settled, right, is that because he made noise on TikTok and it got like I think 1,000 plus. No, 3,000 likes, right? Like it went viral. It went, I think, like tens of thousands of views probably. So like you can imagine some people will feel like this kind of thing. Yeah, like if it happens to somebody who doesn't make it viral, then it will just get buried under the paperwork. And then even if it's not actually his fault, when you viral, then it feels like, oh, then somebody will come in.
Somebody gonna have.
So how do you?
Do you agree?
Yeah, what do you say to that?
Yeah, unfortunately, again, it went to social media, and we do monitor our channels. So this was picked up very late. We actually have I think 4 or 5 exchanges in the email. Again, this is our team didn't you just didn't look at it in the correct perspective, and that's why it didn't occur to us that it was a pre-existing damage. But actually, we also work very closely with Case, for example. So Case do come back to us if there are issues, and we work with them to address the user if for whatever reason you're unable to get satisfactory.
Mr. Liang, how did it resolve? Like, was there like a meetup with, people from Getgo and you kind of like, okay, this is my side of the story, this is your side of the story, or it was just over exchange of emails?
It's like a reply to my TikTok video.
I see.
Yeah, so within the same day, I think after about 40 over 1,000 shares.
As a user, are you satisfied with what has transpired, or you feel what can be better, as a user? Yeah.
So I'm a little bit disappointed by the response from Getgo. First, because there's no clear explanation of what actually caused this entire episode to happen. Now, they cited miscommunication. So what happened? Did the case manager didn't do his weekly updates on the cases?
I see.
Did the guy leave the job and then therefore my case was left on the table and not attended to?
I see.
Nothing.
I can guess for you. It's probably all of the above.
Okay.
I mean, you are high up in management, and I can see that you have all the qualities of someone who knows how to manage a situation, right? You personally. But you must understand, in a huge company especially, it's definitely not going to trickle all the way down. And if you get one person in that service supply chain that doesn't deliver or doesn't click in his mind that this is a customer and I got to take care of the customer for my organization, this is what's going to happen. And that's a harsh reality for many businesses.
I can sense that Rama is speaking from experience.
Yes!
No, but to give credit to Getgo, thank you, Mr. Deyao, for coming down and then like addressing this situation and being able to speak in front of the camera. While I can imagine if there's many service providers, be like, we'll just reply by email, no comment or whatever.
Lawyer letter.
For them to send the chief community here to speak to our audiences, I respect this taking accountability for certain lapses that in operations that Getgo has, transpired.
We actually wrote, I think, emails and we WhatsApp Mr. Liang. We tried to meet up to explain, because it's also difficult to type all of this over social media just to explain the case. But unfortunately, we did not manage to make contact. So that's why when we heard of this chance to speak to on this platform, I think we are very grateful for that, which is why we took that. And I think as the chief community, I mean, it's just a designation. But to me, we are always interested to speak to users who had a difficult time. And then we have the structural regulatory framework.
Yes.
Right. We are all operating within this constraint about liability, about insurance, which has been there since day one, may or may not be the most suitable for a car sharing context. So to that end, we are also constantly trying to innovate and shape our product to help our users.
Yep. Ultimately, the question is, do you have enough people to deal with the volume of cases? Because like you said, it's a lot, and it's not just damages.
Yes.
It's not just disputes. It's also sometimes just sorting things out for people.
We have always tried to go in a very data-oriented. We were constantly studying our volume. So I would say that we have sufficient. In fact, we run 24/7 operations center to assist users round the clock.
So Mr. Liang, like I sense your disappointment, and you say like even till now, but will that discourage you from using Getgo in the future, or you kind of like, this is water under the bridge and you still continue using it, or you take some time to kind of recover over this?
Probably won't use for a while.
I see.
Fact, they have given me a $200 promo codes.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, but it'll take some time to win your heart back.
Yeah. So for me, the other grab is actually in terms of the extent of the repair required for the car, which I felt is a bit excessive.
I see.
Some are just cosmetic. Does it make sense to really repair it?
Yeah.
Because everything will adds up to it, the cost of running cost for Getgo as well.
It's a matter of national interest that we want to keep businesses thriving. And you give jobs, you give opportunities to people. So we want companies to be successful.
Yes.
But in Singapore, do you feel that there's a problem with repairs, with insurance claims when it comes to accidents? Do things get bloated out of hand that it becomes a cost that is very untenable even for a company like yours? And like what Liang mentioned, accident claims, everybody knows, you have touts coming, you have insurance fraud happening quite a lot. Does that affect your bottom line?
Actually, I wouldn't say it's whether it affects the bottom line. We operate within the same constraint, right? So when there is accident or damage claim in terms of accident access, quite standard across car sharing companies. And I guess our challenge is our access are high compared to personal car, simply because the risk quantification is much higher. I mean, you don't know who's behind the wheel, right?
Right.
So in order for it to make sense for insurance to underwrite that risk, there will be sizable excess. So which is why over the years we've also have managed to lower access for our users. So if you go to our T's and C's, you'll know that if you're experienced driver, there's own damage access and third-party access, and each can come up to about 3,003. So, but if you buy enhanced CDW from us, we will lower the access all the way to 450.
Wow.
So that caps your damage access on each end, right? So, and that's at 10% of your booking fee. So if you're looking at average user bookings, about $50 per booking, I mean for 3-4 hour, that's about $5 for that reduction in access. So this is only possible after many years of trying and talking to suppliers and getting insurers to align and we managed to get that.
Among some users who has been in this kind of situation, I've heard it before, is how come one scratch can become $1,000?
Yeah.
Right?
So,
like it's that kind of sentiment.
So you wanted to say something also? Yeah.
When it's published, I didn't get that. For the previous damage, I did ask for a quotation from their workshop, and also let's say after the repair. So what about the invoices for the workshop? I didn't get anything from them. I don't have the emails here.
Yeah, invoice comes from Getgo, right? So we have different partners, different workshops for different cars, because these cars can come from different fleet owners. So that's why the cost may differ here and there, but we try to manage all these differences by having a quotation from Getgo. So we liaise with all the workshops and we get the preferred rates.
How about like a general guide? For example, you may have like a panel of say maybe 6 workshops, right? And say to repair a bumper, one workshop may charge 350, one workshop may charge 400, one might charge 380. Is it possible to give your customers like a guide? Like if there's rear damage, the potential repair cost is going to be around between 350 to 400, for example. Then if it's more worse off damage, it's going to be higher. At least it's something that people can bear in mind, that when they take the rental, they are prepping themselves.
Here's the thing, if they were to do it, they'll be the first to do it. How many years of car rental companies didn't even produce shit on their website? Oh, this scratch, this one I have to go workshop first. 1,500, bro. If they do it, they'll be the first, man.
And
we also try. So one of our principles is we try to be as transparent as possible, right? So the 1,000 plus, actually, the repair was 600.
Okay.
605.
And then we had obviously the admin fee, so the loss of use. So I think, and so we don't just say it's a scratch, 1,000 plus. So I think we try to break it down and to let the user understand what goes into each component.
I think what irritates me is because I did actually ask a workshop, I sent the photos over and say, okay, typically how much would the repair like this cost?
Or you went to your own contact.
What were you quoted?
150.
I see.
One day's work.
That's like 10%, right? Of the
Not 10%.
would there ever be an option like allowing your users to do the repairs themselves?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would think.
My uncle owns a workshop. He gives me a special rate. Why not?
Unfortunately, we will not be able to do that. Simple reason being the accountability. I think that the case is this is someone else's asset, right? So it's just like any of your maintenance. If you have something, you get this asset from someone and you get other people to maintain it. If anything were to happen to this asset, the original owner or the original maintenance will be like, it's not my responsibility. Please find whoever did it for you. And then you can imagine if you let it perpetuate, I think the supply chain will go out of control. So I think we have to follow the recognized workshops, and these are recognized by the insurance company as well.
Deyao, thank you for coming to the show and shedding some light from a user experience perspective and also from the Getgo's perspective of handling situation. And of course, Mr. Deyao, I just have one more request. At Block 224 Compassville, can you put one more Hyundai Kona? Because that Hyundai Kona always gets booked. And I like that car.
You like that?
I like that.
Electric,
it's the electric. Yeah.
Serious, huh?
Best user experience. Yeah. The other one, I don't want the Mazda thing. That sucks. And that Starvage, whatever.
Definitely we'll see to that. In fact, my team managers are a fan of your show. They follow you. So we'll let them know.
All right. Thank you. Thank you to the both of you. And of course, if you're watching, if you're liking this content and it has provide you with some beneficial info, do share with your friends to get word around. We'll see you on the next podcast only on planb.sg. Bye-bye.